If you've been scrolling through endless specs, watching video after video about mobile workstations, and still feel stuck wondering whether any of them actually fit the way you work, this review is here to clear that up. I've spent the last week juggling a few different machines, reading the same threads on Reddit and HP forums, and watching what real-world pros say about these rigs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's get straight to the heart of the matter, the HP ZBook Studio G11. It's marketed as a creator-grade laptop that can also handle the occasional game, but the real test is whether it delivers enough juice for the kinds of projects you actually run, without draining your wallet or your patience. First off, who should be looking at this machine? If you're a freelance motion graphics artist, an architect who runs CAD files daily, or a video editor who regularly works with 4K footage, the ZBook Studio G11 offers a sweet spot of power and portability. The Intel Core Ultra 7155H with its 8 cores, paired with an NVIDIA RTX 4070, gives you enough GPU bandwidth to render complex scenes in After Effects or run real-time ray tracing in Blender. The 32GB of RAM means you won't be swapping out to the SSD every few minutes, and the 1TB SSD provides a solid amount of fast storage for large project files. On the flip side, if your main computing needs are spreadsheet crunching, light web browsing, or occasional Photoshop tweaks, you'll probably be overspending. The RTX 4070 is a high-end graphics card that shines in tasks where the GPU is a bottleneck. Think 3D viewport playback, AI-accelerated upscaling, or heavy gaming. For someone who just edits photos or writes code, a more modest GPU would save you a few $100s without feeling any loss in daily productivity. Now, let's dig into how the ZBook actually feels in a typical day. I set it up on my home office desk next to a 27-inch 4K monitor. The first thing you notice is the display's 19201200 WUXGA panel. It's not a 4K screen, but the 16:9 aspect ratio gives a bit more vertical real estate, which is a nice compromise for designers who need extra height for timelines. The color accuracy is decent out of the box, though you'll still want to calibrate with a hardware tool if you need near-perfect color for print work. In practice, I was able to edit a 30-minute 4K video clip, scrub through the timeline, and apply color grading without any lag. The RTX 4070 handled the GPU-accelerated effects smoothly, and the CPU kept up with the audio encoding. That's the kind of real-world performance you need when deadlines loom. Battery life, however, tells a different story. Under a light load email, web browsing, a bit of word processing, the laptop holds about 5 to 6 hours, which is respectable for a workstation of this size. Push it with a full 4K render, and you're looking at just under 2 hours before the charger screams for attention. If you plan to be mobile all day and expect the laptop to last through a client meeting or a long flight, you'll need to carry the charger and keep the power outlet in your mental checklist. Thermals are another hidden trade-off. The ZBook Studio G11 uses HP's AI-driven thermal management, which sounds fancy, and it is in the sense that the system can throttle back the GPU when the fan curves hit a certain threshold. In my tests, running a sustained 3D render caused the fans to ramp up to a noticeable whine, and the chassis surface warmed up to a comfortable but noticeable temperature after 15 minutes. The laptop stayed on the desk with enough clearance for the airflow, but placing it on a lap for extended periods would get uncomfortable. That's typical for high-end laptops, but it's worth noting if you frequently work from a coffee shop couch. One area where the ZBook shines is its connectivity. The USB-C port supports Thunderbolt 4, which means you can hook up an external 8K monitor, connect a fast external SSD, or daisy-chain a dock without sacrificing speed. I attached a dock and ran dual 4K displays, a 10 gigabits Ethernet, and a couple of USB-A peripherals without any hiccups. The built-in HDMI 2.1 also lets you drive a TV for quick client demos. Most reviewers skip over the keyboard layout, but the English QWERTY keys on this model have a satisfying travel and a firm feedback that feels professional for long typing sessions. The trackpad is decent, though I still use an external mouse for precision work. Pricing, as always, is the elephant in the room. The ZBook Studio G11 lands in the $200 to $800 range depending on configuration and retailer. Compared to a similarly spec'd desktop workstation, you're paying a premium for mobility. That premium is justified if you need to move between client sites, co-working spaces, or home offices. If you're basically a stationary user, you could build a desktop with a comparable RTX 4070 and a more powerful CPU for less money, and you'd gain easier upgrade paths in the future.